They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet 'cause they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho.
They're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stars in the House, Season 2.
Freeze frame. Hi, guys. Last night was our 1-year anniversary, and very exciting news. James, you were doing all the tallying. What did we find out?
Well, actually, it was Maggie who was at Actors Fund who was doing all the tallying. And last night, anyone who was watching Stars in the House last night knows that it was a blowout show for so many reasons. Of course, my favorite part of the show were the viewers who came on and the video compilation that Jack Plotnick brilliantly put together. I emailed him this morning, Seth, and I haven't told you this, and I literally said, I love you so much, I cannot believe that I'm friends with a genius. Because for Jack to be able to put a little bit, the best of each person that he just saw, like, because people, if you don't know, people send in videos or they emailed or put it on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook saying that they wanted to be on the show or to say congratulations for our first year. And Jack literally took all of them and took the best of each person from around the world and made it a full short film, really.
Yeah, really lovely.
And it was brilliant. I think Jen Weiss put it on our Facebook page. So if you want to see it, I think it's going to go on our YouTube channel.
So nice.
Also, it was brilliant. So thank you again. So those were my favorite parts of the show. But let me tell you, the money raised was a record breaker for Stars in the House. So we raised $28,377.46.
That all goes to that all goes to the Actors Fund. And if people don't know what the Actors Fund is, maybe they're tuning in because they love the Go-Go's. They're obsessed with Search Party with Bonnie Milligan. Perhaps they loved Rich York's performance in Victor Victoria.
Hills more than once, like we did.
We
loved the show so much.
The point is, the Actors Fund is for anybody in the arts. No matter what you do in the arts, you can get help. The entertainment field, you can get help from the Actors Fund. So whether you're on stage, off stage, in front of the camera, behind the camera, you go to actorsfund.org, say, I can't pay my rent, I can't pay my grocery bills. How the hell do I get health insurance? The Actors Fund will help you wherever you are, New York, California, and everywhere in between, all over these United States.
Absolutely.
Now, if you can help, what should they do?
Well,
James?
Okay. So here's the thing. Last night, we had the amazing $10,000 matching grant from the Francis Lear Foundation. Tonight, we have two of the lead producers of Head Over Heels also doing a match of $6,000. Louise Gund and Christine Russell are putting in a $6,000 match for Head Over Heels.
So start donating now so we can clean them out.
Exactly.
You go to starsinthehouse.com, donate there, and then once you donate, you're going to get a receipt. Now, by the way, you could also text for you millennials. You can text Fund 2020 at 56512. Right. You're going to get a receipt. Forward the receipt to donations@starsinthehouse.com, and then we'll send it to one of these clowns tonight, and they will read your donation in verse.
Wow.
Anybody? No. Wait, Tom? Silence. Okay, the point is, they will read your donation tonight. So send it donations@starsinthehouse.com.
Oh, look at this comment. I love this.
You don't have to text the payment, Tiffany. You can send it. You go to starsinthehouse.com.
Hold on. Good morning, Seth. Good morning, first off. So maybe Jason is in the Philippines. It's 8 a.m. there.
Oh, you were just checking that.
Head Over Heels cast recording is one of my favorites during quarantine. Always listening during my walks.
Anything else? Okay, so this is our big blowout week. It's our 1-year anniversary. This is literally episode 1, season 2, which is, it's
actually episode 2, season 2, because last night was our anniversary. So
right,
yeah.
But this is like the first fresh show. Last night was sort of a compilation show almost.
Yes. Oh, by the way, and we did officially pass our not $250,000.
Oh, yeah, my math is so bad. I was like, one day we're going to get to $250,000. My friend Christine Petty on the radio was like, do you mean you want to get to 3/4? She's like, you're well past 1/4. I was like,
yes.
Ow. So we were aiming for $750,000 last night, and we got to.
And so our official new total raised for the Actors Fund, $751,840.
All of that goes to the Actors Fund.
Yes.
Sad part is, it's not enough. I mean,
They've literally doled out over $20 million for people in the performing arts.
And they're part of now their second doling out. So basically, if you've gone to the Actors Fund for help, you can now go a second time. So as great as it is, we raised all that money. The live performing is just not happening. Maybe just some TV and film, but like people are out of work.
And I can't say it enough before we bring on the cast. I'm so excited. But it can't be said enough that if you are in the performing arts, go to actorsfund.org. Especially, it's not just about giving grants to people, to help with rent and insurance and all that. They also they were smart during the pandemic. They hired a team in the fall to basically their sole job is to help people navigate health insurance, because a lot of people have lost their health insurance, whether it's behind the scenes or on stage, because you get it by number of weeks, or amount of money you make in SAG and all that sort of thing. And they will help you because now, because of the new stimulus bill, your COBRA payment, which can be quite huge, is available to be basically paid for.
By the Actors Fund.
By the U.S. government. But my point is the Actors Fund can help you figure out how to make it all work. Because if you're like anything like Seth Rudetsky, you would need the help to navigate.
Oh yeah, no, I can't. I'm like artistic. I can't do anything business wise.
He's artistic. Exactly.
And each of those. So donate, and I guess that's all we have. So this is our big blowout week. So Head Over Heels tonight, one of our favorite shows ever. Tomorrow night is
Little House on the Prairie. So literally up until 10 minutes ago, because I found out, I think last night, right before the show, that Karen Grassley, who played Caroline Ingalls, Ma Ingalls, is joining. So it's just like, okay. And I asked her, I emailed her. She and I have been emailing all day, and I said, what are your favorite episodes? And so she sent them to me. So I was literally just watching da 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 Little House on the Prairie, and like finding the exact 30 seconds, because we can't go over 30 seconds. Any of you viewers know, because of YouTube. Seth is a little bit loosey-goosey with the rules.
No, with TV, you can't go over 30 seconds.
Why?
We got shut down.
Oh,
if it's just like somebody in like a club act, like can go over 30 seconds. But TV stuff, they shut it down.
YouTube will not have it. So 30 seconds is kind of hard to get.
So tomorrow is Little House of the Prairie, which I keep calling Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay.
Literally, I can't
We're gonna have a
that
bet on how many times. We almost, for our show with Kristen Chenoweth, on Saturday, we had a clip ready to go because Melissa Gilbert surprised Kristen and Seth in the from a year ago when he was introducing Melissa, referred to Little House on the Prairie as Little Shop.
Which one do I say more often, Little House or Little Shop? I'm a Broadway person.
Say for me, who grew up in Texas, who didn't see his first Broadway show until 1998. Little House is what would normally come out of my mouth. You grew
up in a little house in the prairie. Anyway, literally. Okay, so we have that then.
Dallas and Houston.
Whatever. It's all farmland to me. So then Friday, what do we have Friday?
The West Wing. And here's the deal with the West Wing. I cannot say.
I know what you're going to say.
But let's say because maybe a cast member from the West Wing, like Martin Sheen or Allison Janney, maybe they're watching right now. Let's just say we're going to have a surprise guest or two.
Yeah.
That will be joining that are big surprises.
So y'all got to watch on Friday. Exactly. Saturday is a show that I will get cast in right now because it's my age range. It's 30 something.
It's not 50s.
It's 30. Anywho.
It's 30 something.
When it's polite, call me.
Okay.
So that's 30 something. So that's that. All right. I'm so excited for this cast. We love the show. We were there opening night. Then we had to see it again because we're obsessed. Bonnie, I'm assuming that did you sass? Okay. Bonnie Milligan is one who organized this whole thing.
And here's what's happened. Our experience
You're right.
with people who organize the cast reunions are oftentimes the ones who actually, for whatever reason, don't make it. Okay. We have the Jill Eikenberry and Michael Tucker put together LA Law.
Starts
LA
finish.
Law. Susan Day, Harry Hamlin, the whole gang joined. And then there were power outages and they were not able to join us.
Yeah.
West Wing. Jimmy Smits here's the addition. The Jimmy Smits is going to be able to do it. Josh Molina, who helped put it together, we would not have started doing it, is not able to join us.
So Bonnie Milligan is on a long line. So Bonnie's here.
Bonnie's here.
But as I've said before, she's basically doing it on a rotary phone. So let's see what it's like. 1, 2, 3. Bonnie Milligan. Oh, it's not bad.
It's not bad?
No, but you know what? Turn the phone to the side and then it'll fill up the whole screen.
Okay.
There's a little bit of the clickety.
No, but it's okay, though.
It'll be okay. She looks stunning.
You look amazing.
That's the important thing.
Thank you, God. Focus on something. Okay.
You just may have to project, Bonnie, and I know that isn't a difficulty for you.
I'm not familiar with that.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Kill me.
still got it. Okay, let me welcome everybody else. First of all, the man with all the clues, Mr. Tom Allen, falling from the sky, Robbins.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you very much.
Hi,
Wonderful
Tommy.
to be here. Hi.
And
I
then
feel like
we
I just
have-
saw you guys.
I know, we just talking at sound check. Then Bonnie.
Well, and like 2 weeks ago.
All right, you're on Robbins Broadway.
Yeah.
How quickly, you know what? After a while, everything just blurs together, Tom.
It must be just famous person after famous person, and they just all blur together.
Correctamundo. Then, Bonnie, we have your spoiler alert girlfriend from Head Over Heels. What? 3 names: Taylor Iman Jones.
Yay!
Hey. My love.
Hey.
Hi.
And then we have, you know him as Ren. We know him as Jeremy Kushnier. Anybody Footloose? Hi, Oh, look at that.
Oh, hi. What are you all doing here?
You weren't expecting us, Judy Garland?
So
Oh my
lovely to
God.
see you.
You weren't expecting us, but you have a 4-foot microphone in front of you. Interesting.
and
Always.
yet still very difficult to hear you, Jeremy.
Right,
So,
turn towards your damn microphone.
All right.
there
Thank
we
you.
go.
There. How's that?
Then we have my former girlfriend from Disaster, someone I've been obsessed with ever since we did Putting It Together back in the early 90s, one of the most brilliant performers ever, Miss Rachel York.
Rachel.
Hey, Jer, Mountain Man. How's it going there?
This is what I always. This is what I had expected for Basilius originally. So I've just been spending all my time waiting for the reunion.
Jeremy, I know you're used to wearing a body mic, Jeremy, but in the old days we spoke into our mics. We didn't have them here.
How's that, Seth?
Thank you.
Is that better?
I mean, I can't. Okay, where was I? Okay,
No,
please
hey,
welcome.
hey, sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
say hello to everybody. I'm sorry, I just said hello to Jerry.
Hi,
Love you
Rachel.
guys. It's so great to be here. Mwah, everybody.
Mwah, love you.
And Taylor's
Definitely.
in space. That's amazing.
Right?
Taylor, I love the background. And then we have, I never seen him perform before, and I was just so obsessed with the comedy, the hilarious Andrew Durand. Oh God.
Here we
Hi,
go.
everybody.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen you in a while.
Andrew's on an
Jeremy.
iPad.
So I got my dad's computer now. It's in the kitchen because we're redoing the basement. So here we are. I wish
Okay,
I knew
you're
how to put
speaking-
outer space behind me.
Ouch. I would feel for him to have Jeremy's faraway sound.
Yeah.
Am I
Andrew,
too
you're-
loud?
No, you're too soft. Well, you just the
Oh.
Wi-Fi is
That's
weird.
better, though.
Can you hear me now? Is this better?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna be like secret spy the whole time, like that.
Okay.
Anyway,
love-
Jeremy, I want to measure our hair together when we see
I
each
know.
other.
Wi-Fi is
Well,
It's-
we'll braid each other's hair when we get together.
By the way, they're both lace fronts. It's obvious. Okay, it's Andrew's Wi-Fi that's weird. And finally, the sastress with it all. Please welcome Miss Peppermint. Okay, there's a sound delay. Peppermint, is your mic on?
No.
Oh,
Her face.
She
she's
says
the
it all
last
with her
person
eyes.
I would have expected.
If there was ever an ad for IATSE, this is it.
By the way, Jeremy, why are you playing to the box seats? Look where his eyes are. What the hell?
Why are you picking on me, Seth?
I don't know. It's fun.
Well, while Peppermint's figuring out whatever's going on, I'm sorry, but if you guys can't see, there's just love. This is all love. This cast, this was all love. There was no joke here.
Aw,
It was. I'm just full of love, just seeing all you guys.
I miss
you guys are amazing.
And you know what?
Yeah.
You can tell when you're in the audience.
We did
You totally
have a good time.
could. That's why we went back, because you can feel the love. Besides all of you being brilliant, and the book is brilliant, and the direction and the music, of course. But I mean, you could feel the love between all of you. It was really special. It was one of my favorite musicals, period, on Broadway.
Thanks, James.
Yeah,
It was special. It was special for us too.
Yay.
Oh, now we're losing them one by one.
It's so-
Yeah.
Maybe she had to reconnect or do something
Yeah,
like that.
I would love for people that haven't seen Head Over Heels.
Yes.
I would
Yeah.
love Taylor. Why don't you describe what the story is?
Yes, okay. Absolutely. It's a fairy tale first and foremost, and it's about a kingdom who is trying to find their core, their center, what makes them them. And even though they're trying to find it as a kingdom and they figure this obstacle out via a giant snake coming from the sky, each of the individual characters also go on a solo journey discovering who they are as humans. And our particular fairy tale happens to be very queer forward and in this new world that doesn't really exist yet, but that we're working towards, that celebrates everyone and all expressions of who they are. Set to Go-Go's music.
Yes.
And spoken in
Well
verse.
done. Well done.
And
Charlotte.
spoken in verse.
Okay, so
You have
Yeah.
a clip? No, you have clips.
I have so many
Set it up.
epping clips.
And by the way, a killer opening. Oh my gosh, for setting, it's exactly what you want an opening number for a musical to be. You know who all the characters are. It sets up the tone. It sets up everything. It's a perfect opening number.
It is a perfect opening number, and I
And
literally
yet
have,
you don't have the clip.
I have 2 clips from it.
Okay.
They're not here. So what I'm going
It's
to
going
first.
so well. So
I'm first
far.
going to show this. I'm going to show. Okay, hold on. I want to make sure I have this clip.
Okay.
This is because we're talking about how it's kind of queer forward. This is so Bonnie's character is this beautiful princess, and these are these poems that she reads where she's trying to find a suitable suitor, thinking that it's a man, and yet the poems are not really swaying that way. So this is Bonnie's character trying to figure out what suitor is perfect for her.
Now, hearken as I recite my cycle unto thee. Oh, a cycle is a poet's term. So, 'tis called the ideal suitor for sweet Pamela. His verse is first and almost finished. If you have one, I'll smile on thee. For 2, I'll fall to bits. Yet one won't win my ardency. I need a pair of mitts. Wits? No. Slits? That's close, but no. My verse is worse to write than read. Enough, forget that one. Let's move on to the next. My beauty's known in many lands, from India to China. If you desire to take my hand, you must have a... Oh, I cannot find a proper word with which to rhyme. Oh, I've gone dry. Now...
Wait, she's gone. Where's
I
Bonnie?
know her Wi-Fi is not great, and poor Jeremy, you're being blocked by our logo. Hold on, is she? Oh, Peppermint's back though.
Well, Peppermint's back and Jeremy's frozen.
Hi.
So it's
Can you hear me?
yes, Peppermint.
Oh my gosh, what is going on?
So Peppermint, it almost seems like this role was written for you. How did you get involved with this project?
It feels like it kind of almost was written for me, although I'm certainly not the first person to play the role of I think my role is one of the newest roles in the show. I guess the others could tell you. But it was, I think there was like sort of a jester before me. And then that role was kind of split into 2. And then Taylor's role and my role were born of that. And so that's what I kind of know. But the person who played the Oracle before me was Shakina Nathak. I don't know if she was the only Oracle.
When we did the reading up at Purchase, she was not exactly the same. There was an Oracle character. Oh, I'm blanking on the actress. That's terrible.
Okay.
But yeah, there one.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, my husband. But I auditioned for the show, and even when I was auditioning and I got the script, it was apparent that there was dots, but they hadn't been connected with this character. I guess I should say. And so there was a lot to fill in. Thank goodness I felt very ready to step up to the plate and do it. And it was great. I auditioned. I actually auditioned the same day as Taylor, who went right in before me. Yes, and I was in there with my assistant, Patty, and I was like, oh my God, this bitch can sing? I was like, well, hold up, honey. I hope she's not auditioning for the same thing I'm auditioning for.
Oh my God, that's so funny, because that day I went back to my roommate and I was doing another job at the time, and I went back to them and I was like, oh my God, you guys, Peppermint was there. I swear to God, Peppermint was there. I was like, it made my whole day. I didn't even care if I got the show or not. Seeing you in the hallway of that audition made my whole year.
Taylor, they always say don't meet your idols. Did it wind up being that during rehearsals, Peppermint was like, don't look me in the eyes, and you weren't allowed to address her and all that kind of stuff?
Don't say. No, Peppermint actually. No, she's no. What I will say is Peppermint was a leader to us in many more ways than one. She taught us not only how to demand your space, stand up for what you believe in, stand up for those who need to be stood up for. She educated us. She also had so many other jobs and gigs during our rehearsal. So we got to watch her perform. And the one thing I love about Peppermint, and I will never forget, is if you give Peppermint a question and there are options to answers like A, B, or C, Peppermint would be like, that's nice. I wrote my own answer over here. And I try to remember that as much as I can, that there are always so many more options than people give you. And you are way more than anyone can just imagine for you. So anyway, yeah, Peppermint was amazing in so many ways.
Who wants to talk about how the show began? Did it begin at Purchase and then go to San Francisco and then Broadway? What was it?
Who was there first?
Yeah,
Bonnie. Oh, Bonnie's not here.
Where's Bonnie?
Bonnie keeps disappearing.
She'll come back. I will show that what James is talking about, though.
Okay.
So we went to opening night. We were so tired. We're like, we so don't want to go, which seems so lazy. But sometimes we've seen so many shows. We didn't want to go. We had to go because we love Rachel so much.
Right.
We're going to go support it. And within 1 second, you're like, I mean, literally, it's just this. Look. That's all.
We're good. See?
We never knew when that curtain was going to go up either. That's the best. My favorite part about the show is that we would be standing back there and they'd be like, okay, everybody ready? All right, okay, we're going to hold for a second, and then the music would start.
Yeah.
Right.
People running on stage, putting their shoe on as they're coming on,
Yeah, no one was ever quite ready to start the show.
It's so cool. I'll show you guys the end of it. And Spencer Lift did the choreography, right? Spencer Lift? Everybody watch this. It's so great. First of all, I love that everyone's dancing equally, so it's not like certain people are highlighted. Everyone, it's such an ensemble show, and they're so good. Oh, here's Bonnie. Here, Bonnie, we're going to show the end of the opening number, how amazing it is. Take a gander at how great this was.
I hope you saw me. I hope you saw me dancing in the back row, dancing madly from the waist up.
Tom, you danced your butt off in that. Let's be really fair. I want to know how many people and how many times you cried during rehearsals for that. Because I did.
The pain was intense at times, but yeah,
it was really just my soul breaking.
watching me try to grapple with the choreography.
No, Tom, you again were amazing. Please. You've done.
Jeremy comes from I would say Jeremy comes from a long line of dancing. Jeremy, you were the star of Footloose. Were you the dance captain for Head Over Heels?
Yes. Yes. And though Spencer won't admit it, I choreographed most of it. I mean, let's really be fair.
Well, Taylor, Peppermint, you guys are too young. Did you get to see Jeremy in Footloose?
No, of course. I did not. Sorry, you're right.
Wait.
Yeah, Jared, I was too young too. I think I was like 4 or something. When you were doing
I did not get to see Jeremy, but I have burnt my Footloose CD out. I know every harmony, every word, every character. So,
well, Taylor, why don't you sing along then?
Yeah. It needs a beard.
All-American Canadian.
I missed the
beard. I learned really early on to stand in the center because if they're all dancing around you, it doesn't really matter what you do as long as they're doing the same thing.
100%.
Oh, you could basically do drag.
Baby, that's what did you not see that hair? What was I doing?
Okay, so Rachel York, we have to talk about your quote unquote track. First of all, you got to dance up a storm and also sing up a storm
in a very, very big dress.
Yes,
that's
a very heavy dress.
Who came up with the idea of having basically you do a split after doing a fan kick?
Regretfully, it was me. Yeah. And you know what? This just goes to show you, it's like I come from the theater. Have you heard of that? The theater mentality of
where's that exactly?
Like going for broke, just like give it to them 100%, right? That's where I come from. And so we were in rehearsal. This was actually before before the original this cast. We were doing there's an echo, sorry, that I'm hearing in the background. But we were in rehearsal and I decided to show off. And I did a split, a jump split, and everybody was clapping and everything. And I was like, uh-oh. And I ripped my hamstring. And my tendon, and so when we finally did this production on Broadway, the Broadway production, I had to do the split on the other side, but my left split is just gone. It's gone now. But yes, don't do this, actors. Don't do, because it's true. I do 100%. I was like, I'm going to do it, like, bam. And I didn't warm up enough and all of that stuff. So yes, stretch, dancers, before you do things like that.
Let's watch Rachel almost get injured.
Sisterly to exclude me. Oh, no. Go ahead. Dance the night away. Take me for a turn.
You can't see all the, that dress is so big. You couldn't see. I was like getting down in that thing, but it's like, so it looks like I'm like this. But yeah, that was fun. I had a great time. What?
I was gonna say we felt it. I mean, it was so joyous watching that show. That's what I felt. There was such joy in that show, man.
Should we dare try to bring Bonnie on again?
Bonnie.
Yes, we should.
The woman who organized it.
I know.
Because if you couldn't even get her to talk.
Bonnie, can you do a costume change every time you come back too?
Oh my
that would be good.
if only. I think this has got to be better than it was.
It is actually.
It is
I think
You're
it is.
here.
Did you change devices or something? It's much better.
I've done 3 devices.
okay.
I've restarted my internet 3 times. I've
Poor
restarted this
thing.
computer twice.
Well,
It's not my
Bonnie. Here's the amazing news that you helped, in addition to the reunion, also getting help as far as the matching donations, because we want to thank Louise Gunn and Christine Russell for the $6,000 match. So send in the donations. I know there's some new people watching tonight. Send them in,
and we'll start reading them.
Yes.
So I want to give a shout out. So we're watching this show, and we watched that opening number, and we're like, wow, this number's amazing. And then it was like each person. It's so fun for me when I don't know people in a show and I become completely obsessed with them. Like I remember that when I saw like you and Morton in Taboo, I was like, oh my God, who is that? And that's what I felt in the show. I kept discovering new people. Like, okay, so I'm going to show the Bonnie moment where I was like, wait. It was a combination of amazing comedy, and then crazy high notes. So this is when the students are coming onto you, and first you appreciate it, then you're like back off, and then you're completely miffed, and then it's an amazing modulation. So first of all, Bonnie, who gave you that direction? Is that just you being yourself, comedy wise?
Of the journey there. I mean, I think it's definitely like, I've known this character for years, developing her, that I felt pretty secure of where she was and wanting to kind of give her levels of rather than just this. So, yeah.
It's so good. Okay, here, just take a gander her. Watch, and then watch when the modulation happened, that's when I was like, I'm 100% obsessed.
Dear Miss Pamela, I now reveal this year's parade of very virile men. Can I live in your world? We can make it our world. Can I live in your world? We can make it our world.
Oh, thank you for calling to Ursula. I am available now, but please, if you can leave
What's happening? Is that Peppermint?
Who was that?
Is that a signal from Cuba?
That's right. Let's just watch Peppermint now.
How dare you? Yes, please drop it off in the back. Drop it off in the back. Drop it off in the back.
Oh my gosh. Yo,
Well,
this is head over
Bonnie,
heels.
your glory was undermined.
Yes.
Brava.
I'm sorry. That was of course I was listening to every single moment.
It's all good.
All right. Well, we've got donations here in the private chat.
Oh yeah. So Rachel, why don't you read, and then Andrew, I'm showing you the first moment I was obsessed with you next. But Rachel, can you read the donations that are in the private chat?
And then we're gonna have our medical break.
Oh my gosh.
Mandy's.
Oh, you're
barking.
asking me. I got to put my glasses on, mister. Okay, let's see here. I got to go all the way. Oh, here we go. Oh, do I go to the comments? The private chat, right?
Private chat.
David
Yeah.
Gibbons.
Take your
I
time.
was at the preview performance of Head Over Heels on Broadway and literally fell over heels. Head over heels. Thank you to Stars in the House for the last year of shows and saving our sanity. Helen in California, $36. I saw the show 5 times. I adored this show oh so much. All the love to you all. Max from Tennessee, $25. Seth and James, thank you, Max. Seth and James, my gratitude to your casting Stars in the House across the pandemic gloom to be the illumination for our spirits until that curtain rises once more. Jean from Michigan, $100. Wow. Natasha from Maryland, $100.
Thank
Who knows
you.
who else? All right,
Thank you,
sweet Matt
Louise. Thank you,
Cold.
Christine, for the matching donation.
Yes,
All right.
thank you.
All right, so Andrew, while your Wi-Fi is good after so when I first became obsessed with you comedically, your amazing backup singing for your song "Mad About You." Like, where did that gimmick come from? It was so stupid but hilariously done.
You mean like the secret singing?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I think just because that was a part of the song. Sorry, is it terrible? Is it terrible? That was
It's
a part
all
of
right.
the song. You know, a pop song that has a mechanism like that that's hard to translate to musical theater. So I was like, how do I translate that to musical theater vibe? And I was like, all right, I'll be my own backup singer, because it was sort of like Musadores didn't think far enough ahead to plan that he would need the backup singers. So yeah.
It's you literally use like the tie from your sweatshirt. Like, it's so stupid. Here,
Yeah.
watch. It's so, and the pointing away, that old chestnut. Here, watch. It's so brilliant.
Into the night time, somewhere between the two, we start to see a matter about you, matter about you. It's not a matter about love, matter about you, you and
He's the genius.
They just let me do what I wanted to do, I guess.
It's so funny because it's sticky, but it's not broad. Like it's just the right balance.
Yeah.
It's such good comedy, man.
Okay, we're gonna take our medical
And you look like
break.
such a baby.
Donating, and we will be back in 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah,
Don't go anywhere.
powder down. See you
That's
soon.
right. Okay.
I have good clips coming up of Taylor and Tom and
Of
Peppermint. So
course.
just wait.
Yay. What's a medical break?
Dr. John LaPook, he was here when you did Robbins Broadway, Mister. I just saw you.
I know. What the heck? Hold on, Bonnie. We know you're going to still be here, and Rachel has the best Wi-Fi. If
Tom-
nothing else, we have Rachel and Tom. You gonna bust Tom some more? Oh, hold on, Tom. What?
I've got pretty good Wi-Fi, so if you need me to read stuff, it's easy for me.
And you don't need glasses, so 2 pluses. Sorry,
Right.
Rachel. Okay, excellent.
Okay. All right. Please welcome back Dr. John LaPook.
What's a medical break?
I can't. After a year of this effing show.
Buongiorno.
Thank you. All right, James. James is leading this break because of our friend.
I am leading this break. So, well, first off, John, $28,377. That's the official total, and I know it's gone above that since this morning.
Crazy.
But
That's
isn't that incredible?
from last night. Money raised last night. The
Yeah.
anniversary. Well, it's amazing. It's moving, and it's a testament to what you guys have put together and how much love and support there is in this amazing community.
Yes.
I do have a little bit of news tonight that it's not the greatest news, but I think where the truth shall set you free.
Yeah.
So 17 states are now allowing most or all businesses to completely reopen. We're seeing the parts of the country open up. 18 states report at least a 10% rise in new cases. Remember I talked about it's going down and then it's kind of flattening. We're staying at about 50,000 around there. And we're worried that's going to start going up if people aren't careful. I'm going to read quickly those states. If you're out there in those states, pay attention. Alabama, Alaska, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Idaho, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, North Dakota, Oregon, and West Virginia. So if you're in those states, if you're anywhere, please do not think that this pandemic is over.
So John,
exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah. So John, your Wi-Fi is a little bit wonky.
Yeah, for the first time ever.
It's never wonky. It's a
It
curse
looks like
taking.
it's okay here.
It's like robot-y.
Oh.
Are you on your kid's Wi-Fi network?
No, and I'm not downloading anything or uploading anything. Can you hear me now? Or
I can hear you fine. So it's a good segue what you just said, because we're about to bring on a really good friend who is, I would say, as careful as Seth and I are, watches Starsinthehouse all the time. She's one of our not only good friends, but also executive producer of Starsinthehouse.
Yeah. And the mother of the original Ben and Lisa from Disaster off Broadway.
And so I'm going to bring her on right now, Margie Verdon.
Hey, Margie.
Hi,
Hi,
Dr. LaPook. Oh, I'm starstruck.
So
How are you?
Margie, so you called me yesterday afternoon. Seth sciatica is acting up, so
Oh,
he
yeah,
may
it's
have
killing
to.
me.
It's killing him.
Sorry,
So,
Seth.
Seth, you take a break.
Do
I
your
got
stretching.
I'm
this.
listening.
I got this with Margie and John.
Stretch your hamstrings slowly.
I know it hurts.
Isn't it lucky that Dr. LaPook's here to like guide you in your stretching routine?
Thank you.
So John, yesterday Margie called me and said, "Happy anniversary." For the 1 year. And I said, thanks so much, and couldn't do it without Margie, because Margie's the one who set up the website, and she was the first person we called other than Brian Stokes Mitchell and Joe Benacasa. And I said, how you doing, Margie? And Margie said, I have COVID.
Oh.
And
COVID patient.
and I wanted her to come on to share her story, because I really don't know anyone more careful than Margie. And I think it's kind of what you're talking about, things opening up, and it's been a year. And Margie, very, great. I'm grateful that she said yes, she would come on and talk about her experience. So, Margie, tell everyone what you told me yesterday, and I want to hear what John LaPook has to say too.
Sure. Well, first of all, I wouldn't consider myself like the most careful, but I do. If I leave my house, I wear a mask. I use hand sanitizer. I stay away from people. I live in Georgia, and most things are open here. However, I work from home and I work long hours, so I rarely leave the house when I'm home. But I have a friend or two, really two friends that I see and that I've been seeing every week since the beginning of COVID. It's just our sort of pod is what we would consider it. And so 2 weeks ago on a Saturday, I made plans to go for a walk with my friend. We decided we were going to do an outdoor walk, of course. So we were outside walking in the neighborhood. We stayed apart from one another. We didn't even walk on the sidewalk together. And then we had lunch together. And we chose a restaurant to have lunch where we thought it wouldn't be crowded. And in fact, we were the only two in the place. We wore our masks. We went to the counter and picked up our food. And it's in a big warehouse. We sat in the center of the warehouse, just the two of us, had our lunch, and then left. And that was on a Saturday. On Monday, she called me and told me that she had tested positive. So I was like, oh no, like we'd gone a whole year. So immediately Monday, the best thing I did, and this is because of you, Dr. LaPook, my husband, who by the way is a huge fan of yours, made these signs and put them all over the room. I isolated myself immediately. I wasn't showing any symptoms or anything. I got a test. It was negative, but I stayed in isolation for a few more days because the nurse told me you need 2 negative tests to really be negative. So on day 6,
let's get back to that later, but go ahead. That's not
okay. Thank you. So I stay.
There's a little bit of delay, Dr. LaPook. So
yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay.
I stayed in isolation, even though I wasn't really having symptoms. It's allergy season here. So I had some sniffles and I thought, oh, I just have normal allergies. It doesn't feel like I have COVID. Thank goodness. Phew, I dodged a bullet. But I went back for my second test and it was positive. I couldn't believe it. And then soon after that, I did start to get a few more symptoms. But thankfully, my symptoms have mostly been mild. But I was just so surprised after a whole year.
Yeah.
That's all it took. It took one little thing from a person that was in my pod.
Yeah.
It was so easy.
It's so easy. First of all, thank you for sharing that because it has a bunch of good teaching points there. Not that you're a teaching point. I'm sorry that you got infected. And how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. I'm on the upswing now. I think Friday will be my 14th day. I definitely have foggy brain. I think I have a little bit of every single symptom, and every day a new one pops up. I told James, I feel like, what is this new symptom?
But including the smell and taste symptoms that we've heard about, that you've also had that.
So you had the meal with her on a Saturday. You said?
Yes.
And then here's the thing. So that was the moment when you got infected, right? Because you got to take your mask off to eat. You're how far away from each other?
I mean, we were probably 2.5 feet from each other.
So and for how long? You're for
45 minutes.
Okay, so the CDC considers 15 minutes over 24 hours with or without a mask close contact if you're close like that. So you certainly had close contact. She's in your pod, but what was she doing? She clearly was in contact with other people where she picked it up. So you have to think about it. It's not just the three of you; it's everybody who the three of you has been with there. Then you tested positive. How many days after you were exposed to her at that lunch?
I tested positive on a Friday. So it was Saturday I was exposed, and then I tested positive.
So 6 days later. The average incubation period is about 5 days. So that's about right. Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You got wrong advice by saying 2 negative tests because it was a clear exposure. The incubation period is 2 to 14 days. That meant at any point after you weren't going to test positive before 2 days because it was incubating. From 2 days to 14, you could test positive, negative. Even on day 14, you could turn positive, and you could be asymptomatically shedding the virus and infecting somebody else up to day 14. That's why the incubation period, that's why the quarantine period is 14 days. So you're protecting other people during that 14 days. It's weird, right? When you're exposed, but you're not sick yet, that's quarantine. That's 2 to 4, that's 14 days. If you were infected, once you're infected, you're isolated, not quarantined anymore, you're isolated for 10 days. Why 10 days? Because nobody really, unless you're immunocompromised, has been shown to be infectious after day 10. So actually, once you turn positive, you stay home a shorter number of days if you're actually positive than if you're quarantining. So, this is kind of like what we're seeing all over the place. And I understand it. We're all fed up. We're sick and tired. You still were being careful, but it's those meals. I think we have to dissociate the thousands of year-old tradition of eating together until the pandemic is over, because it's got to go through your mouth unless you know something I don't know. So that means you're taking your masks off, you're close to each other, and that's all you need. So eat separately and then get together with the masks. But how do you feel now? Like, how do you feel psychologically having, had that whole year and like you did everything right? And
so I feel so like, oh my gosh, I was going to get the vaccine next week or the following week. It would have been this week. I was like, the whole year I was about to get the vaccine. So now I'm like determined, as soon as I'm done with quarantine, I want to get vaccinated. And now I'm scared to do anything or go anywhere. I'm scared for my family to go anywhere until they're vaccinated. Stay home. Don't leave.
You're rolling the dice, but it sounds like with you, the dice came up okay, right? Because it sounds like you're okay. You didn't get severely sick. You're going to have some immunity to it for a while. You'll wait a while and then you'll get the vaccine yourself. People are saying you could wait 90 days. You probably have immunity for 90 days. If you're happy where you are in life, you don't want to change anything in the path because it wouldn't have ended up right here. So maybe if you had gotten in other words, all of your care early on might have really saved you from a worse state, because maybe early on it would have been a worse course. And now you didn't want to get it. You're frustrated, but you got it, and it seems like you're going to get through it okay. So now it's a great lesson, and I applaud you for how responsible you were and how knowledgeable you were to put the signs up. Everybody was on it. You're not infecting anybody else. I wish everybody were like you.
Dr. LaPook, you made me feel so much better. I can't even tell you. Thank you.
Well, good.
Well, and Dr. LaPook, I think one of the things too that Margie, the other reason I wanted her on was because Margie, you made a really good point, which is if your friend had not gotten tested, you would have thought it was just allergies. Because I'm from Texas. This is the time in the South where my allergies as a kid would get really bad. And I would have thought the same thing as Margie. It's like, so the testing, I think because we're talking about the vaccine so much, to me, the testing is still really important, right, Dr. LaPook?
Totally important. It shouldn't get lost in the sauce. And your friend was very responsible. It's very hard for her to pick up that phone and call you. She could have just said nothing, right? but she was responsible and she reached out, and you got to applaud that.
She was very responsible.
A lot of good behavior here, and
right.
It's a pandemic. It's really hard not to get infected during a pandemic.
Hey, Dr. Lapook, will you just take 1 second to respond to this because it drives me up the wall? It's not her fault. This woman writes, I'm high risk in getting my second vaccine, but my husband refuses because he thinks it was developed too quickly. Can you please explain that it was not developed quickly? I can't.
So I understand where that comes from, and the term Operation Warp Speed kind of faked people out. It was an unfortunate term, I think. So this vaccine was developed because of what's called vaccine platform technology, and in plain English, it meant 20 years of research went into this. The first SARS, 2003, there was a vaccine. It took 20 months. Then 2009, there was H1N1. Remember the swine flu pandemic? It took less time, and then less time. And Zika took 3 months. This took 63 days. How were they able to do that? Because they used a platform. And what that meant, Francis Collins, the head of the NIH, had the best analogy for it. Imagine you have a factory and you're making widgets. You just thought, I'm going to make a new widget. You don't need a new factory, a new workers, a new assembly line. You just need a new mold. So that's basically what they did to change the Zika type vaccine, not exactly, but into this. And they unscrewed the part of the vaccine that was specific to Zika. They screwed on the part that made it specific to SARS-CoV-2. And in 63 days, 2 months before Operation Warp Speed started, they had the vaccine. Then they put it into clinical trials. And the reason why that happened so fast was they cut a lot of red tape. And they had everybody working overtime in order to go through the approval process. They cut red tape, but they did not cut corners. And I went in a very deep dive on this because I was skeptical. They did not cut corners. And look at the trials. I mean, there was pressure from the administration, the previous administration, to get these results out, approve, authorize it before the election. That didn't happen because they wanted to make sure there was enough safety data. So we had 30,000 people from one trial, 44,000 for another. It was safe. It was effective. It was a home run over the center field wall. 95% prevention infection, 100% in the trials preventing hospitalization, death. Wow. So it's been safe and effective. And without a doubt, the benefits of taking this vaccine far outweigh any small risk that there is.
Amanda, please show that to your husband. It was not developed quickly.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Lapook.
Thank you, Dr. Lapook. Thank you, Margie.
Thank you,
also
Margie.
for your
We love
lighting,
you.
which is
And-
great.
Yes.
Nice
And thank
lighting.
you, Margie, for sharing your story.
Yeah.
I know that everyone appreciates
And
it.
I think it was really helpful. No matter, someone got something out of that that's going to really change their lives. So thank you, Margie.
10 out of 10 on Room Raider. I'm giving it to you, although I'm not Room Raider. But
Thanks,
10 out of
Dr.
10.
Luke.
Got it.
I'm going to put that like whenever I have a website that's about me. I'm putting Dr.
Well,
Luke.
actually, John, she basically has our life behind her because she's got a Squigs photo right over her left shoulder of disaster that her son was in. And then there's the Concert for America poster next to her. And then next to that is our concert that we did down in Orlando a few weeks after the shooting. And then as you see there, you can see the Broadway for Orlando.
Margie.
So basically, Margie's been there for all of our milestones in our lives.
Well done, Margie. So nice talking with you, and feel better. I'm here if you need me. They know how to get a hold of me.
That's
Dr.
right.
Luke, thanks for everything you've done for the show, but in general, thank you.
Take care.
Okay.
All right, kids.
All right,
Thank you.
bye.
Thank
Bye,
you, Margie.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, cast members. Let me
Yes.
just bring everyone on.
Thank you, guys.
Taylor, thank you so much, all of you, because you can see Margie is such a dear friend, and I was so worried and sad and had all those feelings when she called me yesterday. And it's like, she wouldn't even told me that she had COVID if I didn't say, how are you doing? She was like being a good friend and saying happy anniversary. And I thought, and we had a production meeting today, and I said, we've got our big week and Head Over Heels is tonight in the shows, and everyone in our staff meeting was like, you need to have Margie on tonight. It's really important because people are, after a year, are like, I've been safe. Why can't I see a friend or two and have lunch? And everyone thought the messaging was important. So thank you, staff of Stars in the House, for saying that. And thank you for your patience, Head Over Heels cast, and for your understanding for our extra long segment. So
Bye-bye.
It was
appreciate it.
awesome. It's super important. That was a really cool segment.
Yeah, man. So anyway. All right, well, let's talk about more lighter things.
Yes.
Peppermint.
And keep the donations coming.
Yeah, and Peppermint, keep that food coming that you just ordered. But more importantly, Sass. Let's talk about, so Peppermint, I'd love to know some audience reactions. This show, you know, it's very unfair because this show is so forward thinking, and it is one of those expressions of like ahead of its time, but
yes,
it really was ahead of its time, and it's infuriating that now I feel so much awareness of how important it is to have gay stories, trans stories. And when it came out, people weren't taking in how important it was. So I'm so curious from everyone, but especially Peppermint, what kind of feedback did you get from audience people? Do you remember any specific interactions you've had?
Yeah, many of the interactions, most of them I think were when we would go out to the stage door. And I was surprised and delighted to see how many young, trans, non-binary, and gender expansive kids there were with their families and their parents, you know, who were extremely emotional about the experience that they had just had. And that was, it was very connective for me. And so it's not lost on me that I have never had an experience like that as a child or a teenager. And so I thought the work that we were doing was extremely important. And it wasn't just like, you know, a one lane kind of thing, which might have been made it tough for people. Because if it had just been about gay folks or just about a bisexual person or just about someone, one thing or the other, it would have been very similar to most of the other things that we've seen, some of the other things we've seen on Broadway. But the fact that there were so many different layers and it was racially diverse and there was body positivity and just all different types of inclusivity. And the theme was inclusivity. It wasn't just gender identity or sexuality or one thing. And so I think that was what was really important. And I know that had, you know, looking at this show through the lens of post 2020, it would have definitely I think it would have performed a lot better than it did.
Okay, well, let me just say, you know, Broadway will come back, and I think there will be some empty theaters. So I'm all about Head Over Heels coming back with this exact cast.
Yep, it's one set
out there.
Yes, it's so important and it's so beautiful. Taylor, what was it like? I mean, there's so much love between you guys. It's not like this joke lesbian story. Like, it's this torture. It's so beautiful. What was it like for you, and what kind of reactions did you get?
Oh my gosh. I mean, Bonnie, as we know, had been doing this for a while. So, and as we also know, Bonnie is crazy talented. Like, it's indescribable. Like, I don't have the words. And so I was very nervous to play opposite her. You know, I always kind of considered to be her prince in my mind. But she is so warm and so welcoming, and also is very present with you on stage and fully in her role. And so she allowed me to also be that. You know, we checked in with each other before the show, after the show, even during the show. We had a break, and I would go in Bonnie's dressing room and like sit and we chat and just like, and then be like, okay, ready to go scream at each other, let's go. And then like that's how it happened. So that is specific to Bonnie because she was my partner. We spent a lot of literally like face-to-face time on stage, but I can echo that sentiment to the rest of the cast as well, that these are a bunch of heavy hitters, and in the way that they brought all of their talents to the stage, they also brought all of their knowledge. Tom, I feel like I asked him a question every single day, like, how do you do this? And what is this about? And how do you perform? And what, like, money and life and rent and like anything. So yeah, I learned just a ton. I just learned so much every day from
I was making up most of it.
I want to show Taylor and Bonnie. By the way, if people don't know, Taylor's about to come back to Broadway when Broadway comes back in The Devil Wears Prada. She's playing Prada. Work. Wow, the title role?
It's time to do Head Over Heels. Okay, let's just say Taylor can do both.
Yes.
So in your love duet, who had the idea that not only would it be a riff off at the end, but you'd actually be communicating through riffs? Whose hilarious idea was that? It's so brilliant.
I feel like it was Bonnie's. I know it wasn't mine. I'll tell you that much.
Bonnie, do you take credit for that?
To tell you the truth, I don't remember well enough to take credit or not. But I feel like at one point, it was definitely like Tom Kidd in the room with us. And I feel like Michael Mayer just wanting it to get like sassier. And I don't remember, I feel like it was very organic how it started when we were like going, and I was like, okay. And then her and I just kind of started riffing on each other, and then it became very, we talked about it, and I was like, oh, this makes sense emotionally. Like, you know, Pamela, this is her best friend. This is the person that knows her better than anyone. And so she's not fighting these feelings because it's like suppressed homophobia or anything. It's literally that in her world, she has never been given an option other than a man. And so she doesn't understand that I could love someone else. Like, and you know, she's a princess, she's next in line. It's like, you got to find this husband. You got to find this husband. And she doesn't know why they all repulse her. Like, she just, you know, it's like playing with it in that number and saying, okay, fine. Oh God, just back up. Don't do this. And then everybody's in and you're like, enough, go, please go. That I think she is trying in her own way. And so all of a sudden this woman who's always been there, who knows her better than anybody, says, write some poetry. Maybe you can figure it out. And all of a sudden it unlocks something. And Mopsa, knowing me better than anybody in the world, knows you cannot tell Pamela who she is. Pamela's got to come to it on her own. So it's like, hey, what do you think? All of a sudden she's sitting close, and it's like, but I'm not aware enough to put the pieces together. So all of a sudden my best friend is making my stomach feel weird. And so it's like, just back up. Freaking out to the point where it's like, you know what? Screw you. And it's like, why are you fighting? So that by the end, it's like, I'm fine. Do you want to hear how fine I am in this riff? Yeah, I'll go higher too. Like that, it's just an emotional, it just becomes your actual emotional track to use this song in showing this emotional arc that's happening on stage. And it's just like, this woman who loves me, it's like, okay, I got to back up from this because this is going to like break my heart, because I'm not rejecting her, I'm rejecting me, but it's so complicated. And that's what's so beautiful about the show, is that push and pull. And I mean, Taylor has one of the most like open hearts ever. And literally like, that's thing, we would catch each other on stage. She's another one always in it, that I would feel her watching me with love as Mopsa. And sometimes I'd be like, oh, you can't catch that right now. And because she was always there, like no matter what, that she's like, so it's just so easy to fall in love with that. And I mean, the most stunning person in the world. So it's fine. But yeah.
Here's that riff off that we're talking about. It's so brilliant. James, maybe go let Mandy out. Okay.
It's another
You know, I gotta say one more thing that I learned from this cast. We all know that Head Over Heels had a bumpy ride, you know, all the way through our performance journey. And we didn't get to run that long. But whether it was a Wednesday morning or a Saturday night, all of us and the ensemble performed at 150%. Yeah. These people were getting a face full of Head Over Heels, whether they liked it or not. And whether we had 50 people in the audience or a sold out crowd, we were always giving it. And that is what I very much took away from that show, is it doesn't matter who is in the audience, how many people are in the audience, you better give it your all, because dang, it looks like that.
Holy shit. Jeremy, I want to talk about your puppet show, which is also called the Triple X movie. So did you know what it looked like? How did you guys know? Well, you and Rachel, how did you both know what it was going to be? Like, who was directing? Was that Spencer or Michael, or did you make it up yourselves?
No, it was we spent a lot of time in the rehearsal room with the lights out, and the sheet up, and looking in the mirror, and then we would also do like Rachel is a genius. Rachel is the most beautiful singer, like crazy singer who had like you look at her and you go, oh yeah, she's an ingenue. She's like beautiful and she sings her face off, but she's the funniest.
I know.
She is like has this comedic ability that doesn't look like it's supposed to come out of her. So when it does, it's even funnier.
I know.
So we would just do stuff to like crack each other up. Which never stopped. Actually, we continued to do it back there because it was ridiculous what we were being. How we looked behind the curtain was actually funnier because to see like the 45-year-old like guy in like white tights, no shirt, like trying his best to like. There's no Spanx that could have helped. The thing like and just like making sure that any bulge like it was just terrible, hairy, like unfortunate angles, like the thing that worked in the shadow really was unfortunate. Like thank God that Rachel is as loving and sensitive and easy to work with as she is, because it was not a pretty sight back there.
Were you, Jeremy, were you wearing Manx, like male Spanx?
No, I was wearing a dance belt and white tights. I looked like I was like auditioning for Robin Hood Men tights. It was terrible. It was horrible.
Let's look at what it actually looks like. Here,
yeah.
This is from the way it looked like from the audience. Wait a minute. We never got to the actual sex. Hold on.
Yeah,
wait, that's what it looked like from the back.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna have David redo that. I'm gonna show the other clip instead, but I'm gonna have David redo that because I want to see the actual sex. That was leading to the sex. This is the Rachel and Jeremy. Basically, this is the straight version of the lesbian belt off. Those are those two.
That's Spencer and Jeremy. Our
Jane Fonda.
That's how I got the job. That was my audition.
This is Rachel and Jeremy basically doing that lesbian belt off, but the straight version. But then it's Andrew in the back, because people don't know, Andrew has to be like Jeremy thinks Andrew's a girl and Rachel thinks Andrew's a boy, so he's being girly to Jeremy on one side and masculine to Rachel on the other. It's so stupid because he's literally just standing in one area, but somehow Rachel only sees the one side. That's masculine.
Love is blind.
That's right.
Yeah. And you both sound amazing. Rachel and Jeremy, you guys sound so great, but it's such a great trio of the comedy in the middle and then the amazing singing in the front. And here, take a gander at this brilliance. Okay, I know Peppermint has to leave early.
You're upstaging us.
Literally.
In a good way. So wait, Peppermint, I know you have to leave early, but I want to give you a shout out. You know, Peppermint did the inauguration Broadway video that we did, and there was so much amazing feedback just from seeing you in that. Did you get, I mean, we kept getting it from everybody, like, thank you so much for representing. Did you get any feedback for that inauguration video?
Yeah, you know, the way that it all came together, as these things do, I wasn't quite sure. I didn't even know if I was going to make it into the edit. And so I was just sitting there watching the inauguration, and there I was. And, you know, of course, at first I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on TV on the inauguration. But then it actually hit me that this is probably the first time I've ever seen a Black trans woman involved in any way in any presidential inauguration in the United States. And so then texts like that were coming in, tweets like that were coming in. Again, Shakina Nathan was very vocal online and supportive. And so it felt great. So thank you for involving me.
We love Shakina. Here's the clip. If you miss Peppermint, here you are, looking amazing.
525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year in the life?
Yeah. Yes.
You know.
Uh-huh. And then finally,
Sultry.
Shockingly beautiful.
I want to show this great clip right before you leave. This is where, if people don't know, so Peppermint is married, she's a baby, and then really comes into her own and comes back to Tom. And you make this beautiful speech, and then instead of mad about you, Tom does his own spin. How great was that moment for you, Peppermint, to be on stage and be part of that love story?
It was fantastic. I mean, it was great to be able to kind of explore those feelings and be a part of the unfolding of someone being able to find themselves and navigate what that is like, their gender identity, and find the words to express it to someone, and then have the person accept it publicly, not only in Arcadia, like in front of the other townspeople, but then also like on stage in front of other people, to see that accepted. It felt great.
Tom, what was it like for you?
It was wonderful. I mean, I loved our arc through the story, because I drive her away because I can't come to terms with her awakening, and she comes back years later in a way that as a character that I don't recognize who she is until the very end. And we find out that over all these years of being apart and being lonely and missing her, I have come to accept her and wish her back, and I get my wish and I get my love back as the real person that she is.
And you get that amazing song. Here's the moment. It's so beautiful and fun.
My career and my first love, if I will take him back. As Pythia, my truest self, not Mira. Sounds like heaven, for I do love you so. I'm mad about them.
Aw, we're a family.
Yeah.
Like, dear God. Yeah, Tom's like, ooh.
When you were talking about
he's that piercing
what
voice.
I wish,
He's such an amazing singer.
Thanks, darling.
Absolutely. What I wish we had on tape. I wish we had on tape that moment where there was like gremlins in the organ, because right before that moment in the show, there's like a very emotional speech, and then like it's supposed to be strings and harps and beautiful thing, and then like this like rock and roll organ came in. It was like from hell, and it just threw me off. And it's my first time in a show like this, and so I was like ready to. I couldn't barely hold it together. I wish we had that.
As I recall, you didn't hold it together. There were a lot of people turning up stage and a lot of shoulders shaking.
And on that note, Peppermint, you go. Thank you so much for being here. We love you.
Thank you, my love.
Bye, Peppermint. Love you,
everybody.
Bye, Peppermint.
Bye, Pep.
All right, we got some more. So first of all, where are the donations?
The
James?
donations are in the chat. So
All right, who wants to read? Who's got clear Wi-Fi and good vision?
Tom.
Do it, Tom.
All right. Thanks for all you've done for us this past year. My heart is full of love and admiration for all the stars in the house. Susan from Ohio, $5. Love you guys. Joy, $18. I saw the show 5 times. I adore this show oh so much. All the love to you all. Max from Tennessee, $25. Thank you. Julia from New York, $50.
Thank you. Keep everything coming.
Yay.
Don't forward those donations.
so
Donations
much.
to Starsinthehouse. Thank you, everybody.
And again, Louise Gunn and Christine Russell, thank you so much for the $6,000 match.
Okay, so Taylor, I got to give you a shout out for Pure Vowels. I was very happy that you sang "you" and not "yow." Was that your choice, or did someone like me yell at you and say you're not allowed to open up the vowel, dear?
I think it was probably a combination of Kim Grisby, our music director, and like actually having to just sing that note on stage 8 times a week. Like, how do we do this?
It's pure. Everyone needs to watch this. It is so pure. It's a pure you. The yows and the mays make me crazy. Here we go.
Yeah.
Woo!
Hey, Taylor, in honor of your pure vow, can you read the next donations that just came in? It's in the private chat.
Yes. Oh,
It starts
dang.
starts with all caps, all our love.
Yes. All caps. All our love to Bonnie and Head Over Heels. Allison and Jeff from Queens. $100.
Of course they're from Queens.
Count me among those who have been with you since the start. Shout out to Rachel. Nancy from Massachusetts, $100. Seth and James, thank you for having Head Over Heels on Sith. Cast of HOH, miss you all. XO, Julie from New York, $100. Seeing Bonnie own her beauty, seeing her and Taylor together, seeing the diversity of the cast, truly life-changing. Plus, with so much talent and joy, Susan and Mona from New Jersey, $25. I am donating in honor of Bonnie Milligan's comic timing, her seamless belt, and the callus-like temperament of her Wi-Fi. Natalie, $75. And from an HOH co-producer, thank you for featuring HOH. Kate, $100.
So fun.
Great donation.
Yes.
Andrew, what was it like for you to be in drag a la Madonna?
Well, it was fabulous. The most fun I've ever had, really.
What was so fun about it? Was it like liberating?
Yeah, it was totally liberating, and you know, I love that it started as the reason, as the way to get the girl, and then turned into an exploration of the character's identity. It's sort of being like, oh, this is like really awakened something in me, and yeah, it was really special.
Everybody has a journey in the show. That's what I love.
Yeah.
Tom, let me ask you something, because it is so interesting. This show's so brilliant, and it didn't last that long. You know what it's like to be in a mega hit. Like, what was the difference between doing Head Over Heels and doing Lion King, which was like, you know, the Hamilton of its time?
Well, that's apples and oranges, because Lion King, first of all, it was inside a 50-pound puppet, and that was a wonderful show too, and brilliant in its own way. But that was a show that, although it was a fantastic cast and we certainly loved each other, this experience was much more intimate. It was much more collaborative, and much more about the love and the connection between the performers. I love both experiences equally, but you just can't compare this cast with anybody else. It was just wonderful.
So you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, even if it isn't all like a Broadway revival of Head Over Heels, maybe when Broadway comes back, a one night only for the Actors Fund Head Over Heels concert.
Let's do it.
That would be amazing.
Together.
Okay.
You have to.
And it's all about
That would be amazing.
Who's going to organize it?
Talk to us.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk to us. And in case people don't know about Tom, this is Tom when he had fake vocal damage in Lion King. I love your fake vocal damage voice.
Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase.
Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze.
It means no worries for the rest of your days.
It's a problem-free philosophy.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. Those two words will solve all your problems.
That's right. Take Homer, for example. Why, when he was a young warthog.
When I was a young warthog.
God, I did that for 13 years. And I can still speak.
Wow.
Wow.
Not since Stretch.
Yeah.
Oh my God, by the way, we can watch it. We're watching the videos. Taylor basically is having a breakdown during every video. It's so sweet. Like, she loves theater so much. I love watching it. She's just like,
I do.
freaking out.
I love theater, but this show really for me, I felt like the newcomer. I was the newcomer to the cast. I think me and Jeremy were actually the only people who hadn't done it together before. And so that was already a thing. But then Tom Pumbaa from The Lion King is my dad. Like Peppermint is there. Rachel obviously is a legend, but then I got to see her in concert. She did her own concert during our run, and it blew my mind. Like I've already been over Jeremy, and then Bonnie, obviously, and Andrew, like you already said, is a comedic genius. So I just am a fangirl about everyone in the show before, still am, and like, yes, losing my mind.
So are we. All right, Bonnie, we have more donations to read. Do you want to go to the private chat and read them for us?
I do. Okay.
Seeing Bonnie.
Oh, hold on. Is there more? Oh,
No, I
we
think
said
we
it.
read that
I think
one.
we did that one.
Oh, we read. I'm the one who told you. That's.
Wait, James just insisted. I was
insisted.
like, there's no more. And he's like, yes, there are through gritted teeth. Wait.
I'm busted.
Okay, I hate James.
Hold on.
It doesn't matter. I have more stuff to show.
Okay,
You know, Eric from New York, $25.
Oh, that's
yeah, Michelle,
Yeah, those are new.
$10.
Yes.
Oh, so those are new.
And the one.
Oh, so
above.
seeing Bonnie own her own beauty. So wait, why did we stop there?
We said that, but I'll say it again if we have
Say it
to.
again.
Say
Say it again.
Okay.
I think he put in.
Yeah, your
one of
version.
The rest are all new.
Okay, my head hurts.
Bonnie, you read because she didn't finish reading.
These are
Finish
all
me,
new.
please.
Bonnie,
I'll just say it again if we
Go for
have
it.
to, right? Seeing Bonnie own her beauty and seeing her and Taylor together, seeing the diversity of the cast was truly life-changing. Plus, with so much talent and joy. Susan and Mona from New Jersey, $25. Thank you.
You know,
I got
something it's important to note about this show was that, not only was it incredible, it celebrated all expression of love and self-worth, but it was a kids show. And that's what people don't even realize. My daughter came to see the show. I don't know how many times. She brought all of her friends. She was 7 at the time, I think. Kids loved the show.
I believe it.
And I think, we missed that boat a little bit because it was a fairy tale, but it was like a modern, and yet sort of in a pseudo past, right? It was like it was all time.
Yeah.
And the message was so there was a feminine message. There was a power within message. There was a message of peace and unity. It was so much, and it was for kids. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, kids got it more than adults did, I think, because their views aren't set yet. So they're like, oh yeah, all these people make total sense. All of these views and ways of living make total sense to me.
It really appealed to everybody across the board. There's a little tiny section of people that probably would not be interested in the show, and we don't even have to mention who those would be. But but yeah, I miss the show. I miss its message, and may somehow that message continue to pierce through.
It is. You know, the unfortunate is we didn't run long, but the fortunate is the rights are out. People are doing it. You know, colleges are doing it, community theaters are doing it. And that's, as someone who is like born and bred of regional and community theater, like that's how the show gets around. That's how people get to live in the show. Like the soundtrack is great, but like doing it yourself in your town, like how
Especially
cool.
a show like this where you can like in New York, sometimes we're preaching to the crowd, but you know, you do the show in Oklahoma or in Arkansas or in Georgia or in these places where maybe they're going to change some minds. Maybe people are going to go, oh, that's beautiful. Like it's just love is love is love is love, right? It's like such a great opportunity to have fun, but not poke fun, not make fun.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, look how beautiful this love story is.
My heart can stay away, for I do love thee, Pamela. Oh, Mopsa, darling, don't you cry. Forget their beautiful is all I see when I look at thee,
shall consummate her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so romantic. Okay, so wait, before we go, I'm making Jeremy sing for us, but I don't know if the rest of the cast saw this. I'm so obsessed with Bonnie's belting modulation. That I told you that anytime a song has a modulation, she has to add it, no matter whether it's appropriate or not. So we made a little video. This is the beautiful ballad, Unexpected Story, with a modulation riff that really ups the level of the song. So enjoy.
All very well, 2, 3, 4.
It's all very well to say you fool, it's now or never. I could be choosing, no choices whatsoever. I could
It's the immediate quiet for me.
Yes.
Stupido.
Bonnie enriches every song she sings.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so Jeremy, we know that you're going to sing something for us. You've got the mic set up. What's happening? Tell us.
I have a song that I wrote a long time ago, and it was sort of a love song to New York. I wrote it in my 20s, and the more I've been sort of, when we talked about maybe singing something, I was like, this feels like a love song to the city that we're in, but also feels like a love song for me to what we're missing, and then the hope that it will come back, and also my sort of love song to my friends that I miss so dearly. These ones especially, because our show isn't going, but also because of what we're in the middle of, and I can't wait to sit in a room together again and talk and laugh and make fun of Tom. I love you guys so much. This is a song called Why.
Yes.
Another empty box of noise. Another believing fool, believing in you and me. Yeah. Again, it's just like the first time you fell in love. The minute you look too close, the sky falls down from above. Why is every time I think about you so lovely? You find me every time I go and close my eyes. Why is every time I think about you, I fall to pieces on the floor? When will I see you, my New York? The sun has never been my friend.
The moon is my only guiding light. I know it's getting near the end, but we still have tonight. Why is every time I think about you so lovely? You find me every time I go and close my eyes. Why is every time I think about you I fall to pieces on the floor? When will I see you? All these roads that never end, they lead me back to you, and I can't help but cry. The more I am away, I don't know why. Making up for all my time. It isn't that it's lost, it's gone. But you're better when the sun don't shine, and when your nights are long. Why is every time I think about you so lovely? You find me every time I go and close my eyes. And why is every time I think about you I fall to pieces on the floor? When will I see you? Why is every time I think about you you go and find me every time? You go and find me every time. Why is every time I think about you I fall to pieces on the floor? When will I see you, my New York?
Woo!
Yeah.
Chair.
That was beautiful.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Bonnie, for putting this together.
Yay!
Yes.
Yeah.
I also
And
want to
thank you, Seth
mention,
and
I don't
James.
know if we, if we did before, our incredible ensemble and our incredible swings and our incredible standbys, literally like all 23 members of our company are just unreal human beings. They're all really hot and they're all really talented.
Look at those poses.
Yeah, it's just like a glorious company that we can't have as many cameras on, but like they should be loved and mentioned and fawned all over.
Yeah,
No,
those-
that's a great point.
So
Bonnie.
because we get to
Yeah. No, because we spoke so much about singing here, but we did not really get to talk about how much of a dance show our show really was. You know, bringing Spencer Liff on board, who has a So You Think You Can Dance background and just so much more than that. He really pushed these dancers and showcased these dancers to their max ability and potential. I feel like when Broadway people came to see our show, when dancers came to see our show, they're like, that's what I want to do. Well, either they were like, I definitely want to be in that, or like, that looks really hard. We had the most talented dancers on Broadway in Head Over Heels.
Exceptional dancers.
Yeah, those Batmons, relentless Batmons.
And they're all singing their faces off too. Like they had to have these. You know, we had 8 ensemble members on stage, and they had to be able to sing, dance like crazy. And what I think was so fireworks, cool. What was so beautifully cast within our dancers is they're such amazing individuals, like each of them, and brought their essence to it, that it was just like an amazing stage of like gorgeousness and again individuality.
Yeah, they each had their own fans. You'd walk away with a favorite dancer being like, because they carried their own storylines throughout the entire musical as well. You could watch one person that had nothing to do with any of the leads and have a fantastic time at Head Over Heels.
It's just so fun, man.
And they were such a colorful bouquet. They were a principle of them in and of themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were more than an ensemble. You know.
Well, that's what I look at as our whole show. We were an ensemble. All of us. There was no
we were all an ensemble. Exactly. It was an ensemble.
And that's
show.
how we very much, I feel like, operated as a company, which is why I think we had such love, is like we were just one big group. And again, I think in a lot of ways, us desperately trying to find our audience. We would have meetings with producers like, how can we change? Like, our cast wanted so desperately to do this show beyond just getting a paycheck, but like feeling the need for it within our audience members and at the stage door. We were just passionate to be there. And, you know, that opening tableau was 15 of us, just minus Peppermint in that opening. And I would go around and have a moment of connection, I called it, with every single member up there. And that we'd be like, we're going to do this. And sometimes when that curtain rose and there was just like a smattering of people and you're sitting there posed staring at them, you're like, okay. But no matter what, even if it was the smallest, they were always with us. You know what I mean? Which is why I think we pushed through and fed off the audience. It just always felt like a big communal sharing whenever we would do the show. It was just like a really beautiful experience we got to do.
Oh, well, Bonnie.
So Justin, Ricky,
Yeah,
Urel, Greg, Ari,
Tanya.
Sam, Amber, Tanya, Tanner, Lisa, Christine,
Brandon,
and our amazing Brandon, yes, and our amazing standbys. We have Gavin, Sharon,
Erica.
I'm going blank. Help me.
Erica. Brian.
And Brian, yes. Just this gorgeous company. We have to say.
And then one of the hottest, coolest, most male-less bands, rock and roll, kick-ass bands on Broadway. I've never been in a more rockin' band and not a testicle to be seen. And what a glorious thing it was. They were just rock and roll stars every day. Like, and that's the thing. None of them were posers. They were all rock stars. Every single
People
one.
thought they were the Go-Go's when they went up at the end of the show. People were like, the Go-Go's just play that show.
Right.
No, and that was another way that Head Over Heels opened doors for people because we had a female band. A lot of them had never played Broadway shows before, so then they came to Head Over Heels to play Broadway, and then I know a lot of them went to Jagged Little Pill, has now gone on to continue to play on Broadway. I just love the show.
Bonnie, before we go, there are 4 new donations that David just put in the private chat. So read us out. And again, we want to thank Louise Gund and Christine Russell for the $6,000 match tonight. May all producers in future Broadway shows that we have on be as amazing as the Head Over Heels producers in doing this. Thank you, Louise, and thank you, Christine.
Thank you, guys.
Bonnie, go.
Thanks for having the amazing Head Over Heels cast on. I saw the show, I think, 6 times. I'll treasure those memories and this cast forever. Thanks again, Hannah from New Jersey, $50. I love you all so much. My heart is so full. I miss you so, so much. Michaela for $10. Oh, they're one of our super fans. They came a bunch. We love you too. Hi, my donation is made in honor of Andrew's gorgeous voice, comedic genius, and precious smile. I will forever miss this amazing show. Tasha and Maryland, $50. The show was magical for us and our family. We love you, Bon. Tracy and Laura from Ohio, $50. Oh, I love you.
Oh, yay. Thank you, everyone, so much. Thank you, cast. And tomorrow, we've got Little House on the Prairie, or as Seth will call it, Little Shop on the Prairie.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can talk about you can't take the Broadway out of the boy.
Nope,
it's not going to happen.
Siri Cruise. All right, clowns. We'll
Bye,
see you in a
everyone.
concert version of Back on Broadway. Bye,
That's
guys.
right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Love you.
Love you guys.
Love you so much.
Love you.
I don't know the rest of it.
That's it.
I don't know the rest of it. We got that, baby. We got that.
Well, you don't have the music in front of me. That's pretty good.
I'm so bad.